Here's some of what's heading your way tonight on your News at 9.
A local lawmaker is pushing legislation that would better define end-of-life care homes. I'm Zach Dodge with how it would help Solace House of the Ozarks. Coming up.
Plus, officials with Connect to Culture in Joplin broke ground today on the future Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Doug Hetty's got weather and the month-long forecast. Jacob Leonard's got sports. This is the KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. Proposed legislation in Missouri would create a framework for end-of-life care homes where residents could stay at the end of their life. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details on why a local nonprofit hopes the bill goes through.
This may seem like a normal house on Mina Avenue in Joplin, but really it's what happens inside that makes it one of a kind.
It's a place where individuals who are under the management of a hospice provider can come and spend their last days.
Solace House of the Ozarks is what the organization calls an end-of-life care home, where they provide a 24/7 presence and care to people in their last days. Now, it's different from hospice because they don't provide medical care, but volunteers are there all the time.
So we are filling the gap for where a family member or loved ones aren't able to provide that 24/7 care.
The service is offered for free and officially started in March of 2020.
So we've had the pleasure of serving 5 guests who actually passed in our home.
Right now, Solace House can only offer 2 beds at a time, partially because Missouri law doesn't define end-of-life care homes. Something Representative Lane Roberts hopes to change with a new piece of legislation.
I can tell you the need is greater than that, but we want to do this right.
A House bill introduced by Roberts earlier this month would define end-of-life care homes under the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, setting up licensing, rules, regulations, and everything a facility like that would need to operate in the state. In the long run, that would allow Solace House to expand.
This is something that is a labor of love for them. So if we can craft this legislation and make a success of it, and allow them to be able to realize the model that they're after, I think it'd be a big deal to them.
We would be 100% ready to grow and looking very much forward to that opportunity to continue serving.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
The Solace House hopes to expand to 10 beds if the legislation passes. So far, the bill has been read in the Missouri House on 2 occasions. A Miami, Oklahoma man is sentenced in connection to a shooting targeting a Seneca, Missouri police officer. 24-year-old Bradley Holmes took an Alford plea, which means he isn't admitting guilt, but acknowledges prosecutors have enough evidence to convict. Authorities say on September 12th of last year, Holmes was in a car with 2 other people, which was stopped by an officer. The officer says one of the car's occupants shot at him and hit his patrol car. Holmes is sentenced to 15 years in prison. The other 2 suspects are still awaiting trial. Police in Parsons, Kansas are asking for the public's help identifying a robbery suspect. Authorities say on Friday, this man robbed the Auburn pharmacy inside the King Cash Saver on Main Street at gunpoint. Parsons PD is asking anyone with information or possible security camera video to contact the department. 34-state weather, not as chilly today as it was yesterday, but still kind of cold.
Yeah, our temperatures on the cold side for us today, but at least we got some sunshine and we are, or were, warmer than what we did see yesterday, which is always good. We made up to 41 degrees, average high is 47 for this time of the year, and we had pretty much clear skies all day long, but some clouds have been sneaking in, at least over the past couple hours, and we're going to have partly cloudy skies for us tonight. On top of that, I think we could get a little bit of patchy fog, so watch out for that. Next storm system out to our west, it's not going to really affect us until later on in the week, so it looks pretty quiet the next couple days. It is cold. We're sitting into lower 30s. We're eventually going to drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight, and I do think we're going to get some fog building in throughout the overnight hours, so watch out for that. A lot of changes the next few days. We'll break it down for you here shortly.
All right, Doug, thank you. The Jasper County Health Department says 8 more people have died from COVID-19. The patients include 2 women, both in their 60s, and 6 men, 3 in their 60s, 2 in their 70s, and 1 in his 80s. These latest deaths bring the county's total to 127 since the pandemic began. The state of Missouri is using local hospitals to improve distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Beginning this month, hospitals in each region of the state will receive a portion of the state's vaccines. Each region will receive 5,000 doses each week. In our region, Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of those doses.
So every 2 weeks, 5,700 doses will be allotted to our region.
More an issue of availability. And so I would tell my family members to sign up wherever you can. So if anybody has a waiting list, sign up on that list. So if they have vaccine available and your turn comes up, by all means, get the vaccine where you can at this point.
Around 53% of the state's weekly vaccine allotment will go to hospitals. The Joplin City Council met tonight. Some of the things on their agenda: the new trash contract, a rezoning request for a local business, and a grant authorization for a new trail. The council approved the new trash contract for residential trash services with Allied Services. The new contract will include a 2% increase in trash services for residents, which will bring the cost from $12.41 to $12.65. Now, the council also approved a resolution of support for a grant to fund Phase 1 of the new 10 Cup Trail. The rezoning request was for Metro Appliances and More, currently located on North Main Street near Airport Drive, to relocate to 3300 North Range Line Road. That request was also approved. Years of fundraising and planning culminated in a celebration today with the groundbreaking for the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. The complex in front of Joplin's Memorial Hall will be home to Joplin's Connect to Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts. It will feature a 470-seat theater and an outdoor amphitheater with a 2,000-person capacity.
Joplin needs a place to celebrate the arts, an intentional space that can be just for arts and culture. It's just going to help grow the creativity in our community. It's also such a positive economic driver for Joplin as well.
Officials expect the complex to be open to the public by late 2022. Today marks the beginning of Black History Month. It was established in 1970 as a way to honor the contributions of Black Americans. At Pitt State, they're recognizing those contributions with a month full of events. Those include the Black Student Association and Axe Library's effort to highlight Black literature with a book display that include Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
And this kind of just shows solidarity. It just shows awareness of Black history. Black history is also American history, and that the Black students on this campus also matter as well.
You can find more events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Sergeant Clifford Nelson served in 3 different branches between the Army, National Guard, and the Navy, and was in the Vietnam War. His hometown, Lamar. We are proud to recognize Sergeant Clifford Nelson, tonight's four-state hero. Well, Doug is up next with a complete look at the forecast, and a little later on Your News at 9, we'll take a look at the top stories in the business world for this Monday. You're watching KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Well, it turned out to be a decent Monday for us today. It was still cold. It really cooled down yesterday after our cold front on Saturday evening that gave us the showers and thunderstorms, a little bit of severe weather across the region. And then sunshine returned for us today. Just temperatures really didn't warm up that much. Of course, no rain today, but for the year, we're at 4 inches really for the month. So a pretty wet month of January. We didn't have a lot of storm systems. We just had 2 or 3 big rain makers. Also, temperatures not that bad. The blue days showing us the days that were below average. The red days showing us the days above average. So we actually ended up above average a little bit more than what we did below average for the entire month of January. Great time lapse. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks pretty good. We have been kind of fighting the clouds off just a little bit, but the temperatures, they're cold. We're dropping back. Most of us now are sitting 31, 32, 33 degrees. I do think eventually we'll drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight. But we did have clear skies. Now we have some mid and upper level clouds that are starting to stream in. But besides that, not too much going on. The storm system that rolled through over the weekend, rolling up the eastern seaboard, producing very heavy amounts of snow. Our storm system's building back toward the west. But before they make it here, we have this nice big ridge of high pressure. That's going to give us pretty good weather as we go into Tuesday, also into Wednesday. So let's go ahead and let's break it down for you tonight. Partly cloudy skies. I do think we're going to have some fog, so watch out for that. 27 during the morning hours, a cold start, but a quick warm up all the way into the mid 40s by noon. And then I think most of us are going to top out right around 53 for us tomorrow afternoon. So just a spectacular Tuesday. In fact, it gets even warmer as we go into Wednesday. So tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. We'll drop back near freezing again. But Wednesday looks good. Partly sunny all the way up into the upper 50s during the afternoon. Here comes our next storm system. This should give us a few random showers by Thursday morning, but a pretty strong cold front is going to roll in. So we'll start the day on Thursday in the 50s, and then we'll drop into the 40s during the afternoon hours. This is not an Arctic front, but it is a strong cold front. It's the second front. So now we are looking at Saturday morning. A stronger front drops in, could get some light snow with it, but it gives us our first real blast of Arctic air that we have seen this winter season. We just haven't had really any Arctic air. It doesn't last for too long, but it is going to turn significantly colder by the time we head into the weekend. 53 tomorrow, Groundhog Day. 57 on Wednesday. A few showers on Thursday. Friday's okay, but look at our high temps over the weekend. A high of only 30 and dropping on Saturday and down to 5 Saturday night.
I think it's a good time for me to be like the groundhog and just kind of, hide and be underground where it's a pinch warmer.
For maybe 6 more weeks?
I certainly hope not, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow, huh?
Uh-huh.
Doug, thank you so much. Well, coming up, the latest on former President Trump's impeachment trial.
Former President Trump has a last-minute shakeup on his impeachment trial legal team. I'm Ray Bogan with a look at their new defense strategy coming up.
We're getting some 14. Reddit users that caused GameStop stock to soar picked a new target to support. And COVID-19 is not going to keep couples from expressing their love this Valentine's Day. Fox Business Network's Cheryl Casoni has these stories and more in today's Fox Business Briefs.
Silver shares are skyrocketing. The Reddit forum, Wall Street Bets, setting their sights on their next target, precious metals. Silver futures surged as much as 11%, reaching an 8-year high on Monday, with it going for $30 an ounce. The hashtag Silver Squeeze is even trending on Twitter, leading retailers to warn consumers they're struggling to meet the increased demand for silver bars and coins. And the pandemic isn't stopping people from celebrating Valentine's Day. According to a National Retail Federation and Prosper Insights and Analytics survey, Americans are expected to spend more than $2.5 billion. The survey found 73% of people think it's even more important to celebrate this year, but unlike in past years, only 24% say they plan to spend the evening out. Well, high-end liquor sales are on the rise as the pandemic continues to keep people indoors. Many are choosing to spend their money on pricier whiskeys, tequilas, and other spirits, leading distillers to post their strongest sales in 4 decades, despite widespread bar closures. Well, for more on the latest headlines, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm Cheryl Casoni.
Well, just over a week to go before his impeachment trial, President Trump is changing up his legal team. The move comes nearly a week after just 5 Republican senators voted not to dismiss the impeachment trial, signaling there may not be enough votes for a conviction. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan has the latest on why the former president is making the shift now.
Former President Trump is announcing a new legal team just over a week before his second impeachment trial. A source tells Fox News former President Trump wanted his legal team to focus on election fraud, which became a deal breaker. The last-minute shakeup will give the new team little time to prepare their case and present it to the jury, which in this case is the Senate.
We have to keep remembering that this is a political proceeding, not a legal one. So the normal due process rules wouldn't necessarily obtain.
The new lawyers, former District Attorney Bruce Castor and trial attorney David Schoen, both say this impeachment is unconstitutional. Castor said in a statement, "The strength of our Constitution is about to be tested like never before in our history. It is strong and resilient."
I'm not shocked that nearly on the eve of the impeachment trial, he's once again losing representation. And I think that's pretty telling when attorneys who have taken their own oath and are admitted to the bar don't want to risk that.
Democrats and some Republicans say the president incited the January 6th Capitol riot. But Senate Republicans have been tight-lipped as to how they'll vote. A conviction requires 67 votes, or in this case, 50 Democrats and at least 17 Republicans.
I will wait to judge based upon the evidence which is presented.
Tuesday is the deadline for the Trump team to submit their response to the impeachment charge. Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Still ahead, why one group says college football practices could be more dangerous than the actual games. College football players appear to sustain more concussions in practices than they do in games. Medical College of Wisconsin researchers studied 6 NCAA teams over 5 college football seasons, finding that nearly 3/4 of concussions they reviewed happened during practice. Half of the concussions that occurred happened during preseason training, and even though that training represented about 1/5 of the whole season. Now, the team says their results suggest that targeted prevention strategies are needed for both preseason and regular season practices. Well, it's been almost a full year since the coronavirus pandemic changed life as we knew it. As much of the country remains under COVID-19 restrictions, children and adolescents are among the many struggling to make sense of a socially distant world. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has more on the potentially harmful side effects.
She's been asking me what the point of living is. This is never going to end. What's the point?
COVID-19 is contributing to a childhood mental health crisis. Across the country, kids of all ages continue adapting to a life of increased isolation. Many have been stripped of the opportunity to go to school and participate in clubs and sports. It's a strategy to help limit the spread of coronavirus, but experts say it's limiting opportunities for socializing and self-expression and could be contributing to a rise in suicidal thoughts.
Kids want to hug and touch and do all of those things, and it's going to be a little while before we're all able to do that again.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found cases of anxiety and depression drastically increased between April and June of 2020. The struggle is overwhelmingly clear in places like Clark County, Nevada, where the nation's 5th largest school district saw at least 18 student suicides since the start of the pandemic. Experts say there are many warning signs that a child may need help.
They're sleeping more, they're in their room more, they're isolating more, they're eating less or eating differently. They're not spending as much time with you. They're really angry.
For concerned parents, officials say checking in with your child is critical.
It is okay to say, are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling suicidal? You get to ask your child that. You're not planting that in their head.
And a number of states are now looking to pass bills addressing a child's mental well-being, making mental health an acceptable reason a child can be called out of school. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Well, after the break, a counteroffer from congressional Republicans.
There's an effort by a group of Republicans to negotiate with the president on another coronavirus relief bill. But will they offer enough? I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on what's in the proposed GOP bill.
A group of Republicans wrote to President Biden to request an in-person meeting over the next coronavirus relief bill. Lawmakers face a deadline next month to pass more legislation or risk current federal assistance and protections running out, leaving millions of Americans stuck in the middle of their stalemate. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
On Monday, 10 Republican senators head across town to the White House to pitch a $618 billion COVID relief bill to President Biden. That price tag is a fraction of his $1.9 trillion ask. There are some things they agree on, billions for COVID testing and vaccine distribution, but they disagree on stimulus checks. Republicans only want $1,000 checks to a smaller group of Americans rather than Democrats' $1,400 checks to a wider group. And Republicans want $300 in extra unemployment assistance rather than Democrats' $400 per week, and no money to state and local governments.
We're targeted to the needs of the American people, treating our tax dollars as if there are tax dollars, not just money to spend.
There could be some negotiating wiggle room with the price of the stimulus checks, but the smaller package is not likely to be given the green light by the White House.
The risk is not that it is too big, this package. The risk is that it is too small.
In the Senate, Democrats need 10 Republicans to cross the aisle to pass a bill. Otherwise, they'll have to pass it through reconciliation using the vice president as the tiebreaker.
I think the message is clear from the White House. They're going to push it through.
Republicans are urging Democrats and President Biden to lean into his inaugural message of unity rather than forcing legislation through.
This is a price tag that the Biden administration has on this. Is going to put our kids into debt.
While Republicans are asking for more time to negotiate a bipartisan bill, it's unclear how long Democrats will wait before going it alone. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way, including we're going to meet a Chiefs superfan in Webb City who has decked out a room in his house to express that fandom.
A winter storm continues to wallop the Northeast. I'm Aisha Hasni in New York with all the details coming up.
With the Kansas City Chiefs playing in this year's Super Bowl, there's plenty of excitement. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky talked with one Webb City man who takes his love for the Chiefs to new heights.
There's no doubt that almost everyone is gearing up to watch the Kansas City Chiefs play in the Super Bowl, but no one is quite as prepared as Jeremy Swearens.
Super Bowl champions, world champions, Kansas City Chiefs.
Swearens, a Missouri native, describes himself as a lifelong Chiefs fan. Just take a look at his self-proclaimed man cave.
That just really removes any doubt to any visitors that come to our home as to how we feel about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Swearens and his wife are empty nesters and use this opportunity to create this space and really show love to their favorite team.
Most people might think diamonds are a girl's best friend, but for Chiefs fans, it's Super Bowl rings like this.
And I just like to show my support and dedication to them through collecting things over the years.
Swearens has been collecting Chiefs memorabilia his whole life, but once he started displaying them in his new home, he knew he wanted to do more with the place.
The authentic helmet over there that's been worn by Chiefs players. It has sweat stains on the pads on the inside and everything, so that's kind of cool.
His advice for any avid Chiefs fans who may want their own man cave? Just go for it.
Anywhere you want to start with any budget, just start collecting, and over time that collection will grow, and just as your love for the team has grown.
Swearens believes in life, you can either do things halfway or go all out. And for his favorite team, he's willing to show his support to the fullest. In Webb City, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Now, something else that Swearens has is he's going to predict the Chiefs are going to win 34-25. And all this week, we're going to bring you Chiefs-related stories as the team looks to run it back in the Super Bowl. Our coverage will be capped off with a 30-minute special. The Run It Back Super Bowl special will feature news stories with fans in the area and former players, as well as new interviews from stories you'll see this week. The special will air right here on Fox 14 this Friday at 6:30 and our sister station KOAM at 6:30 on Saturday. Neosho School students in the New Caps program got a lesson in marketing today. Now, New Caps is a partnership between Neosho Schools and Crowder College to get students exposed to the experience of working a job. Today, area marketing experts hosted a workshop about how an entrepreneur can market their business and themselves.
The basics of entrepreneurship, how to be focused, humble, grateful, to network. Realize that the dots connect sometimes. You can't control how they're going to connect.
The workshop was held in the Arnold Faber building at Crowder College. Millions in the Northeast waking up to a winter storm today. Heavy snow, ice, and strong winds from Virginia all the way up to Maine. States of emergency have been declared throughout the Northeast. There are also a range of travel restrictions. Fox News correspondent Aisha Hasni has more from New York City.
Blizzard conditions. Stay off the road. Stay off the streets and sidewalks.
A winter storm slamming the Northeast as a nor'easter brings heavy snow and winds to the mid-Atlantic and New England. The forecast calling for up to 20 inches in some areas. Officials are warning residents to stay off the roads as snowfall rates may reach 2 inches an hour in some parts, while dozens of winter weather warnings and advisories are in effect.
Stay inside. If there's any way you can avoid traveling today. At the most intense points, you're going to see 2 to 4 inches of snow per hour. That is extremely intense snow. That's blinding snow.
The storm system stretching from Maryland to Maine and has already covered parts of the Midwest as well as Washington, D.C. The National Weather Service is forecasting that northeast Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and southern New York will see the heaviest snowfalls. Meanwhile, in New York City, the storm has forced health clinics to postpone COVID-19 vaccine appointments. Public schools are once again going fully remote, and nearly all flights have been canceled.
I can tell you firsthand, it is seriously dangerous, and there is no reason to be out on the roads, and it's only going to get worse.
The National Weather Service says snow will continue to cover the Northeast through Wednesday. In New York, Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
A bit later, we'll hear from friends and family of Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond, who passed away today.
Here on Fox 14.
Well, it turned out to be another cold day for us today after the storm system we saw over the weekend that gave us showers, thunderstorms, some severe weather on Saturday evening. And then since that cold front dropped through, it's been kind of cold. But look at our rain stats so far, of course. We are into February, so all of our rain has all been in January. And we had over 4 inches of rain. We only averaged about 2 inches in the month of January, but it wasn't that cold. This kind of breaks down each and every day. The red days are days above normal. The blue days, days below normal. But even the blue days, we don't have any extremely cold days. I mean, we have high temperatures of 33 degrees, which, hey, we can definitely handle. Partly sunny skies for us today. Great time lapse. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. And temperatures, they're cold. Most of us 30 to about 32 degrees. And a few little clouds have been streaming in over the past couple hours, but in general, we're going to have partly cloudy skies for us tonight. One storm system exiting up on the right coast, and then if we go out to the left coast, here's our next storm system, which will not affect us until Thursday. So ahead of it, nice big ridge of high pressure on charge, and it looks like that's going to be giving us a pretty good weather as we go through the next couple days. Let's break it down. Let's go through tonight for you. We'll drop back down into the mid-20s. So it's going to be kind of cold, 27 if you're getting up early. We're going to warm up quickly, partly sunny skies, through the 30s, 40s, 46 by noon, high temp up to 53 during the afternoon, which is actually pretty good, quite a bit warmer than what we saw today. It even gets better by the time Wednesday rolls around. Tomorrow night, a few clouds and then partly sunny skies on Wednesday, but I think most of us upper 50s to near 60 degrees. So it looks really good. Then our next storm system rolls in. This is going to be a stronger cold front. We're looking at Thursday morning. We'll start the day in the 50s, but we'll most likely tumble into the 40s during the afternoon. With the front, we'll get a few morning showers and then just a lot of clouds for the rest of the day as that storm system exits. But it's another system right behind it. Saturday morning, it doesn't have a lot of moisture, but what it has is an Arctic front. And we haven't had much of any Arctic air this winter. With it, we could get some light little snow showers, rotate through, and then Arctic air sets in just in time for Super Bowl Sunday. So it's going to turn much colder as we head into the weekend. 53 tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday, 55 dropping Thursday with some morning showers. Friday, cool, but cold on Saturday. We'll drop back through the 20s, down to 5. Saturday night, only 21 on Sunday, and still staying cold even on Monday. All right, month-long forecast. This is off the heady pattern. It's my pattern I've been working on for 22 years. We're in the 4th cycle, and we're in a shorter cycle this year than what we were last year. Last year was about 59 days. This year it's 45 and a half. We're in a La Nina. It's not the best pattern to get a big snow, which you can tell. We've had a lot of little snows, but it's hard in this pattern to get a big snow. All right, so starting next week, it stays mainly cool all week. It's going to be cold. Highs in the 30s on Sunday, but we mainly stay in the 40s all week long. We'll get some rain chances by the time we head into Tuesday. Could mix with some snow. And then again by the weekend, rain possibly over to snow. So we have 2 winter weather chances next week. Heading into the following week, rain or snow chances on Valentine's Day and then again on Tuesday. But we do warm up a little bit late in the week. So the 21st through the 27th, really the last full week of February, it's still kind of cold. This is going to be a colder month, but we have decent chances for rain and snow on that Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday, and then we'll warm up just a bit right at the end of the month. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for one big snow, but I know this pattern, it's going to be hard to produce one.
I am one of those guys, you know, I don't like the snow, but my fingers are crossed for you too, Doug. We do need at least one good snow this winter before spring gets here.
That would be nice.
I'd like it. I think a lot of people would. Doug, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, Galena looks to push their winning streak to 10 as they take on Frontenac. Plus, we'll hear from Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady on matching up against Patrick Mahomes.
The Galena boys have been one of the best teams in Southeast Kansas this basketball season. The Bulldogs are on a 9-game winning streak and are 10-2 overall this winter. Now tonight, Galena hits the floor against another team on a roll, facing Frontenac. The Raiders have won 5 of their last 7. The first quarter, check out the finish from Brett Sarwinski. Final seconds of the first, Tyler Little turns and beats the buzzer. Galena up 11 after the first. They were up by as much as 17 in the second. Here, though, Mario Mangini, 3 for the Raiders. It's 30-16 at half. Third quarter now, Jordan Fudge goes to work. Gets it to go plus the foul, but Galena does not let Frontenac back in it. Tyler Little, good defense here, really. Still gets it to go. Galena, they're impressive tonight. Bulldogs make it 10 straight, 60-44. In the girls' game before that one, Frontenac had no problems. Raiders win it big, 54-16. Reagan Hipfel leads the way with 16 points. Well, tonight is the opening night of the Warrior Classic at McCallie Catholic High School. On the girls' side, the tournament host Warriors are first on the floor tonight. McCallie up against Sheldon in the opening game. Pick it up early in the first. Warriors in possession. Kaylee Teeter, 3 from the top of the key. McCallie up 1. Still in the first. Kennedy Dury with the steal. A little behind the back dribble. McCallie holds a 5-point lead going to the second. Now in the second, more defense from the Warriors. Chloe Williamson knocks it away. Teeter comes up with it and finishes. That pushes the lead to 9. Kaylee Teeter just made plays all night. Another steal here. She had a team-high 23 points. The McCallie lead gets to double digits. McCallie rolls tonight 52-21. Super Bowl week is finally here. The Kansas City Chiefs will shoot for their second straight title against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. And no doubt, it's one of the best quarterback matchups in Super Bowl history. Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs, Tom Brady for the Buccaneers. A Sunday Super Bowl will be the first matchup between 2 quarterbacks who have won both a regular season MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. And here's what Brady had to say about the much younger Mahomes.
I really admire Patrick for the kind of player he is. He has great command of his team. I know his teammates love playing with him. He's got great charisma. And I think when I see Patrick, I see someone who, again, was, none of these moments are too big for him. And the times that I've had a chance to talk to him off the field, certainly enjoyed it. Big time performer, always seems to play the best when his team needs it the most. And just incredibly impressed by him.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Friends and co-stars are remembering actor Dustin Diamond, who passed away Monday morning after a recent cancer diagnosis. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with more.
Screech, hit it.
Dustin Diamond, best known as Screech from Saved by the Bell, has died at age 44, just 3 weeks after being diagnosed with stage 4 small cell carcinoma. His spokesman, Roger Paul, says the cancer spread rapidly, adding Dustin did not suffer. He did not have to lie submerged in pain, and for that, they are grateful.
Guess who?
Diamond grew up on TV starring as Samuel Screech Powers on Saved by the Bell for 13 years. The hit series aired from 1989 to 1993 and had several spin-offs. In 2009, he wrote a behind-the-scenes tell-all, which was later turned into a Lifetime movie.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
In addition to making cameo appearances in films, Diamond took part in several reality TV shows over the years, including Celebrity Fit Club, Celebrity Big Brother, and Celebrity Boxing. Diamond also made headlines with lawsuits over delinquent taxes and foreclosure proceedings, as well as in 2006 for a sex tape, and in 2015, he was sentenced to 4 months in jail for his part in a Wisconsin barroom stabbing. In Paul's statement, he writes, the actor had a history of mishaps and unfortunate events, and his actions, though rebukable, stemmed from loss and the lack of knowledge on how to process that pain properly. He adds Dustin was a humorous and high-spirited individual whose greatest passion was to make others laugh.
We're buddies, aren't we?
Saved by the Bell co-star Mark Paul Gosselaar, posting condolences to Dustin's family and friends, reflected on their time working together, saying, I will miss those raw, brilliant sparks that only he was able to produce. Mario Lopez writes, Dustin will be missed, adding prayers for your family will continue on. Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Coming up, with Black History Month underway, we'll look back at the life and legacy of famed boxer Jack Johnson. February marks Black History Month as Americans across the nation celebrate the heroes of Black history. We take a look at the legacy of Jack Johnson, the first African American to win the world heavyweight title.
Boxer Jack Johnson was the first African-American heavyweight champion of the world. The son of former slaves, Johnson held the title for years but faced resentment as white Americans called for a great white hope to defeat him. In 1920, Johnson served prison time for an anti-prostitution law that was widely seen as his punishment for having a white girlfriend. It wasn't until 1967 that the Supreme Court ruled that interracial marriages were fully legal in the United States. In 2018, former President Donald Trump pardoned Jack Johnson 105 years after his baseless conviction. For more than 13 years, Jack Johnson was one of the most famous African Americans on earth. During his boxing career, Jack Johnson fought 123 fights, winning 77 matches, 48 by knockouts. America together, celebrating boxer Jack Johnson.
That's our time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to leave you with this video of pandas. There they are in Washington, D.C., enjoying the snow. Be safe like these guys. We're going to do this all again tomorrow. Until then, we'll see you then.